And we're live. Welcome back for another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast, where you can go to get all the nerdy news you need to know about. I am Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I am just one of your hosts. I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But before we talk about them, we're going to talk about our sponsor. Yep, you got it. Next Level Apparel this week, boys and girls. Next Level Apparel wasn't about reinventing the wheel, okay? It's all about revolutionizing it. So in 2020, Next Level Apparel transformed the industry's tubular tee by combining art and science to create the 1800 unisex ideal heavyweight tee. The vision was to create a tubular tee that offered an elevated fit made of soft fabric and everyday function, inspired by streetwear, skatewear, surfwear, and workwear. Every cut, every thread, and every person has come together to make this durable, heavyweight cotton tee the new benchmark in streetwear fit and workwear function. You don't want to miss out on this tee, all right? Go to visit nextlevelapparel.com for more information on that. All right, so like I said, I'm joined by three other folks today. First, we're going to say hello to Stephen McFadden with Perfect Promotions and More. Stephen, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing well. Yeah,
Good.
it's beautiful out. It's just been super hot though, but it's been great. It's been a good week.
It has been hot as, yeah, you can imagine. Fill in the blank. Meg Erber, SNS Activewear. How are you, buddy? Our favorite Meg Erber.
Hey, guys.
It's good to have you back this week.
Thank you. Yeah. I missed you guys last week, but I needed some R&R and took the family out and had a nice vacation.
You didn't miss us. It's fine. It's okay. Did you even watch the podcast? It was pretty gnarly.
I actually did, and I thought
really
did a great job.
Yeah, he did do a great job. And we're also joined by Tim Walls. Tim Walls is an end user in our industry, folks. I don't know if we're the first ones to do this, but if we are, like, somebody else needs to also jump on the bandwagon, because this is going to be a hell of a podcast. Tim Walls with Insomnia Cookies. He's also familiar with our industry, though, because he comes from our industry. So, Tim, why don't you say hi to the folks? Give us a 3 to 4 minute background on yourself, your history of our industry, and then how you got with Insomnia, and sort of just take us through your journey for a couple minutes, if you don't mind.
You go over 4 minutes, we take your cookies.
Yeah.
That's all right. Cookies are available for everyone, right? So Tim Walls, Director of Sales at Insomnia Cookies. We are a warm cookie delivery company, right? So as perfect as it sounds. The Insomnia name speaks for it all. We are open and deliver until 3 a.m. We have been open during all of this. So everything that's been going on, we've been an essential business because we deliver warm, delicious cookies all the time. We're bringing that comfort to home everywhere. And so I came from this, Jeff, as Jeff said, I came from this industry. I spent 14 years as a distributor. I worked with Meg a lot for those 14 years, and that's kind of how we came together. January of 19, I decided to make the move, sadly, out of the industry. I love the industry so much. Shows in Vegas, AC, hanging out with other suppliers and distributors. Made the move to an awesome brand that's in the Philadelphia area, Insomnia Cookies. So we started back in 2003 out of the University of Pennsylvania, and have been growing exponentially ever since. And we actually opened our 176th store yesterday in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So big things happening, and it's a great company to work for. Been a lot of fun in the last 18 months that I've been here, and hope going on longer.
So listen, I've got a question for you, okay? And feel free not to answer this.
But I know where this is going.
But listen, you're one of the very few people that have ever escaped our industry. How the hell did you do it? And why? Tell us the story.
So I wanted to go, if I was going to leave what I considered a fun industry, right? I loved the idea of, like, my job was to get people to give away fun things, right? How awesome is that, right? Mm-hmm. If you go to a ball game or an event, everybody wants to get the swag. Even if it's a t-shirt that doesn't fit you, they want it, right? People fight over these things.
They do.
And so I left something that I truly loved. I did it for 14 years. I still have a garage full of promos and samples that I took with me. And I still get some random stuff. Meg has sent me stuff. These are SNS sweatshirts.
Are they the Russell? Which brand is that? I forget.
These are Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but I wanted to do something that was similar, right? I didn't want to go and then all of a sudden go for no better purposes, sell insurance or something that was a complete opposite spectrum of that. So when this opportunity came along, and the company itself, the corporate environment is great. It's a family, type of company, even though we're national now. I mean, I think we're in 41 states and 176 stores, but our corporate office is no bigger than what my office was at the last place. So, I got to keep that same, family feel, but work. And I wanted to go to a company with a brand, right? And it was a real big thing for me. Insomnia is great. We have such an awesome cult following. People love our cookies. They love our stores. They love our experience. So that was really what I was looking for when I escaped, was I now still get to sell people things that they love.
That's awesome.
The cookies are always amazing. You sent me so many, and I attribute those to the quarantine 15. So thanks.
Yeah, the COVID-19.
Yeah.
There you go.
The COVID-19.
That's even better.
That was good.
That was really good.
That was a great dad joke.
Very good. So Meg, thank you so much for inviting Tim into the podcast this week. I think this is going to be a really awesome week to give people some really good perspective. So I'll open it up to Meg and Steven first of all. I mean, do either of you have any questions specifically for Tim?
Well, I think it was really good since we've been doing over the last couple months, everything related to COVID. And I mean, it's all anyone ever talks about, it was PPE and then, mailings and the Canadian perspective. And I thought, what, it's time we get the end user perspective. And I couldn't think of anyone better than Tim, since he's been on all sides of this, well, not all sides, but been on this industry, has that experience. And now he's basically doing what he loves still and making other people happy with hugging their tummies with delicious cookies. So how did Insomnia Cookies come to be, actually? And how do you fit into that sales, their future marketing? How do you fit into that?
Yes, that's great. So started back in 2003. Our founder, Seth Berkowitz, was I think a junior at University of Penn, right here in Philly. And he was looking for an alternative to the other late night stuff, right? Your pizzas, your cheesesteaks, your french fries, something sweet. He told the story actually last week. We had our national summit last week and it was virtual. So we had an exec team that put on a great virtual summit, which is something that's hard to think about right now. Mm-hmm. And part of that came with kind of the history of, right? So I love hearing it. I've heard it a couple times, but I hear kind of different pieces every now and again. And one of the things he mentioned this time, which was hilarious, was he said that kind of the night that this kind of started was they had ordered Papa John's 3 times in one night, right? So, they ordered it at 7 o'clock for dinner, 10:30 for late night dinner, and then 1 a.m. for super late night party dinner, whatever. Right? So they're playing games, they're playing Halo, and they keep ordering the same thing over and over and over again. So he literally started this out of his college house. He always has a picture of his college house where he stands in front of and kind of shows the whole thing. And the name came actually from his wife, his girlfriend at the time, but his wife now, who said, hey, originally it was, I think it was open 10 to 2 or, 8 to midnight or something like that. And so it started as a late night thing. It wasn't necessarily a daytime thing at that point. And, the thought was that it's open late and we're here when people want something other than, that greasy fast food. And so it all started from there. Like I said, started out of his house. He was taking, the history is he's taking calls from his cell phone while driving to deliver other people's cookies. His first night, he got 3 or 4 orders and he put signs up on telephone poles. It was literally that, I'm going to start this and it's going to happen. And this is how.
That's awesome. That's a cool story.
And then the store started and food trucks. And like I said, now we're at 176 stores. So.
That's awesome. That's a really great background. All that, elbow grease you got to put into getting the company off the ground. And then now it's some big conglomerate almost. That's really awesome.
And, ebbs and flows through the way, right? I mean, we've probably gone through 2008 and now of hardships and those kind of things in the country. And we've still gotten through it. So.
Yeah. So I've got a question, because obviously having some industry experience for promo, that there's obviously some food and different types of suppliers and vendors in our industry.
Right.
You ever think there's a future for Insomnia to potentially, using your experience and being the director of sales with them, opening up an avenue to sell into our industry as well?
I definitely think there is. We do it now, right? So I was brought on to really give kind of that business focus. Our team, our exec team, our marketing team, our ops team, they do a fantastic job of, catering to that late night market, the retail market. But we were kind of just not thinking about that daytime business. What can we do market? And we have 2 lines of business that really focus on that. We have we have a catering line of business that comes out of the stores and you can order it at any point. So 10 a.m. for a meeting, 2 p.m., happy hours, all that kind of stuff, big events. Employee showcases, client meetings, all that stuff. But then we do what I sent to you guys, which is our shipping program. So we ship cookies nationwide, right? And during this pandemic has been, great for us because a lot of people have been displaced from where they're used to having us, right? If you were at, let's say you're at, a major university and all of a sudden you went home and you're now 150 miles from our closest bakery, but you used to order us once a week. What are you going to do, right? That's something that is college. Like when people think of Insomnia, they think of their college experience, right? We become part of their college experience. And for seniors who got displaced to end their college experience, they may never be near us again. And then for, other classes or incoming freshmen, like this is how we want to be included as part of that college experience. So our shipping program is nationwide and we are going, gangbusters on that right now, which is great. And that's kind of where I see, the potential marriage into the promo space is, we do things similar to some others in there already.
I'm really glad that you mentioned that because full disclosure, Tim did organize a very nice care package for the three of us hosts of this fine show. And I am an Insomnia cookie fan for life now, and as is my wife and children. So we all thank you very much. Stephen is trying to hold up the box there, but the virtual background is messing with him a little bit.
It's cookies. Just know it's cookies.
So
box,
listen,
I have to take it right upstairs and hide it in my room. The kids literally smell it. And they're like, we know that you have cookies.
So with such a nice little care package like that, like I think there's a huge potential, especially in today's, world, with everybody being at home and people, we talked about this a couple podcasts ago with dropship being a huge thing right now, since we're not doing a lot of the in-person events and things. So people are shipping stuff to folks' homes. And I think it's a great avenue for the promo industry. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. Meg, you had something you were going to say?
Yeah. Last thing real quick before Stephen, because Stephen looks like he's like, I have to say something. So Tim made it so easy for me last Christmas. Like every year we try to just give something to, some of our customers. And I sent him a spreadsheet of just addresses and he took care of everything. It was, I'm probably signing him up for more than he wants, but like, I'm sure you have people to do it. But
just send all your orders for Insomnia cookies to Tim.
He made it so easy. And like all my customers were just so excited. They were like, some of them were like, we've never heard of Insomnia cookies. And now so it was a really good, it was a good, collaboration.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes from my promo experience, knowing like, it's gotta be seamless or if you put too much onus on the customer to do a lot, it becomes daunting for them. Right. So you just got to make it so you're the resource. Right. And Meg will tell you that. Right. I've come to her since then and been like, I need this, and this. Go tell me what styles, brands to pick from. Like, that's the same way. And she comes back within a day and says, here are the things that I would pick. And I think this ended up being one of them. Right. We went with this, as one of her suggestions of something that, that fit like that. So I think that's what makes it easy is, don't put that back on the client or the customer. Right. Make sure that you can handle all of it.
Very good. Stephen, it's your turn.
Hey! I don't know what to do now.
All right, never mind. Meg, back to you.
And the end.
So Tim, as a distributor and, you knowing, having been a distributor and an end user, I wanted to kind of give you set you up here a little bit to help us help the distributorships and the suppliers of the industry. So, as you know, and having been on both sides now, there's a lot of great suppliers. There's a lot of great distributors out there. And sometimes I do feel that there are some roadblocks to creativity along the way with distributors trying to work with certain end users. And you guys have a great brand. It's fun. We talked about it a little bit before. It's energetic. It's got a great following, a cult following. I don't know if your followers are called Cooksomniacs or what they're called.
Insomniacs. Yep. We are Insomniacs.
Okay. I love it. But there are sometimes are these roadblocks where distributors have these great ideas and they're working with suppliers who have great ideas, but they just fall on, deaf ears at the end user level. Speak to that a little bit. Like give us the nod here a little bit and tell those end users out there that maybe struggle with just letting go and, being adaptable to creativity, some of your insight on that. Love to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things, right? Like depending on how big the client is and how big their marketing department is, and if they like, let's say and they have agencies working for them and all this stuff, like they're paying others to help kind of generate those ideas too. So when they get to those ideas, they're kind of set on them, right? But we're actually in the process now of redoing our gear site and coming out with a whole new line of products that we want to sell at the retail level. And it's been a combination for us, right? So we brainstormed. We have a 10-person marketing team here with a creative director and agency, and we basically put together about 15 to 20 products that we wanted to see. We threw it out to folks to kind of look at and say, tell us what you think, let us know pricing, all this stuff. And some people come back and say, hey, those look great. We have some other ideas. And it really becomes like, are you open to them and letting them be as creative and being a partner, right? So for us, it becomes a partnership. And I think that's really where it comes to play. Is it, are you a vendor or are you a partner? And as a partner, you're gonna get on board and you're gonna work together, right? Because the more that your brand gets out there, the more that they sell or give away of their stuff, the more they're gonna come back and get more from you. So, if you're okay with just the same thing over and over again, a standard bag that you can get anywhere from anybody with a one color imprint, all this fun stuff, like, yes, that will work, and it's great and it's useful, and I still use all my promo bags and everything from past life. But like when we start to see what brands like ours are doing out there, we may not be the best piece of knowledge to know how to build that, right? We may need to go to someone that has a distributor or a supplier's end that's been doing this for 30, 40, 50 years, that has the knowledge of what does well, what resonates, what sells versus gets that wow factor, and it just might not be something that we know how to produce.
It's awesome. Thank you. It's great.
Fair enough. So what kind of things help you decide what kind of distributor you use from the end user's perspective? Like how do you pick a distributor to work with? Because I'm sure as a bigger company that's grown to what you guys have, I'm sure your door's getting knocked on.
Yeah. So I'm sure the marketing team is getting solicited all the time for, things like this. I know, for us, it's a couple things, right? Obviously everyone's price sensitive, right? So you're always watching price, especially if you're buying big and it's at 176 stores. So, trying to get stuff out there. But so cost is always a factor, and that's going to be a number one factor for a lot of people. But it's also the creativity and the partnership, like we talked about earlier with Steven's question. Like, if they come and they say, hey, that bag looks awful, we're going to print it anyway because you said so. That's not probably going to be the right partner for us, right? We want them to say, critique us, tell us where we're wrong, where we're right, what can we do to change things? And then, I think the third thing is responsiveness, right? If, we reach out on a Monday and it's the following Monday and we still haven't heard back,
next.
That's not a good thing, right? I'm not saying you have to respond in 15 minutes. I think Amazon has made a lifestyle where we all expect to have something we ordered yesterday, the day before. But I think at least, and we're all still ultimately connected at all times, right? Meg went on vacation last week. She's still responding to emails, right? I go away, still responding to emails. So I think just the responsiveness, helps with that too, because you feel like they're more so part of your team as opposed to just someone working for you.
Yeah.
And you did reach out and ask, hey, Meg, who do you recommend, to take on this kind of account? And
Right.
I gave him a couple of suggestions, and I think that's going to really, that partnership is going to grow.
Yep.
So that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Distributors, I hope you're listening, because I think that's huge. Like the fact that as an end user, he's telling you to give them feedback. Like don't just print, the bag that is not going to look good. So if the supplier is telling you, hey, this bag is not going to print, and suppliers, you got to listen too. Like if a bag's not going to print, you got to talk to your distributors, and distributors, you got to then educate the end user because they might not know. And if you just print it and it's going to look like garbage, that's a black eye, on the end user and you as the distributor and the supplier. So it's just, you got to be able to confront your clients and have a conversation with them, stop being order takers, and try to differentiate yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
We had
it's
an
more
example.
a consultative sale than like here. Yeah, I'll take 500 of these and walk away. And being from the distributor side and now coming here, it's something that it's helpful to have that experience and know kind of how the process works too, and what to expect, and then know who kind of goes above that bar and who's below that bar.
Steven, you had an example yesterday, you said?
Oh yeah. We actually had a customer send us what they wanted to put. They were doing like ground graphics, like some social distancing things for different locations, and it looked okay, but just looked a little off. And so I was like, hope you don't mind. We took some creative liberties here and kept your logo integrity, but we changed a few things to make it stand out a little bit. And they're like, oh, thanks. Looks way better. Yeah, run with that. I mean, just, we could have just run it. I mean, we had the order, but
that's building trust, like we all, like, I know what's best for you kind of, no, not necessarily, but when you talk with your vendors and your partners, like having that open conversation, like I know my products better than you might, Steve. No offense to you, but it's all I sell. You know what I mean? Where you're selling 40 different brands. Right. So you might say, hey, I want that cotton t-shirt. It's for this outdoor event. And I'd be like, all right, well, listen, let's talk, because I know this is your budget. Well, let me give you a couple different examples. And that's what you're doing to the end user. You want to be able to offer suggestions that based on what is best for them. So I think that's just having that openness and being able to have that relationship. And if you don't, then maybe you're not with the right distributor.
You have to be able to add value, and just turning orders over doesn't provide really any value that a website can't provide.
Right.
You got to have that personal connection, that partnership. That's great.
Yeah, and you want your items to have staying power, right? Like we don't want to give away or sell items that someone takes home and is like, this is the most uncomfortable t-shirt I've ever worn.
Right, and it ends up in a
landfill. It's either
landfill.
A rag or thrown in a drawer and never worn.
100%.
I'd rather spend an extra $1 or $2 and get something that I'm going to wear once a week.
Yep, 100%.
Hey Tim, I have a case history concern. So I was really passionate about Mountain Dew, and so I was like, I'm going to go for a customer.
I did not know where this was going.
Yeah, that I want to work with, because I love their brand and I love all this stuff. And so I ended up getting a project for Mountain Dew, and I found myself drinking a ton of Mountain Dew during this whole experience.
Wait, I feel like I've heard this story before.
I'm just wondering, Tim, like if people, like, I'm super passionate about cookies, I would just be concerned. Like if I worked with you guys, like I would just be eating cookies and drinking Mountain Dew all day.
Yeah.
Have you gained not the COVID-19? Okay, we're not talking about the COVID-19 or the quarantine 15, whatever you want to call it. Okay, how many pounds have you gained since you started working at Insomnia Cookies?
So the problem is I was already bigger to begin with, right? I was born bigger, and so luckily I really haven't gained any weight. I just have to now exercise more to be able to eat the cookies, because we have a test kitchen here. It's called our Cookivation Center, and they are testing the most amazing things ever all the time, right? So when our offices are fully open, we're kind of modified right now, obviously, but when they are fully open, the smell you can smell it everywhere. And they're trying all different things, and we're coming out with all new creations like all the time. We just launched our Monster Witch this week, which is like a cookie rolled into ice cream and then put between 2 more cookies. So it's a cookie witch with a little bit of extra, just in case you needed that third cookie.
Now I'm a little upset because that wasn't in the sample box that you got.
I thought you were talking about like a Halloween inspired cookie. I was thinking like a cookie witch.
Yeah.
That is the entire COVID-19.
Yeah, right.
In one cookie.
In one cookie. Oh,
yeah, so you heard it first. You can eat all of the Insomnia cookies that you want and not gain any weight.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, fair enough. Any of you guys have anything else to ask Tim?
Tim, I'm just so glad that you agreed to be on. Like, it's really awesome. And I'm glad you didn't decide to be on last week because I was on vacation anyway. So
that worked out perfectly.
It worked out. No, just glad to have you on here. I think it's really exciting to see you just growing in this new role, and love that you're having fun with it. And I'm glad that you just took the time to remember us little people with those delicious cookies.
No, I love it. I appreciate being on. Like I said, I couldn't see myself going to a role that wasn't still delivering some kind of fun product. And like I said, I loved the industry. I still love the industry. Meg and I still talk. I talk with, we talked about, before the show, a couple other people in the industry. I still talk to them. I still try and stay connected because I know that it's going to parlay. And now I've been used as a resource internally as our marketing department's trying to launch this stuff, because I have, like I said, 14 years of that knowledge base on the distributors, working with suppliers, who's good, product quality, how to get samples in, like all that kind of stuff that goes along with being that distributor. And it's now helped me go, let's not make fast decisions. Let's feel stuff. Let's,
yes,
let's go the
feel.
right way,
yes.
right? Let's do what distributors have a job to do. Let's let them do their job a little bit.
Yep. Good for you.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think if we all took the same energy of trying to deliver a product that people will be excited as a cookie, that would be an awesome.
And the packaging was amazing too. You have like the purple box and the tissue paper. It's all about presentation, man.
Right.
Yep. It was very,
Yeah.
very, very nicely done. And again, my wife and kids do say thank you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else, Stephen?
All good. No, I super appreciate the insight, the perspective, and it's an awesome story and great brand.
Very
Have
cool.
you got anything else you want to add? You got any plugs?
Tim, anything from Insomnia that we need to know about?
No, keep an eye out. Go to the website, check it out. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pike in terms of innovation and creativity on the cookie side. We have some great deals running now. We're doing a 24 pack for only $24 for Christmas in July. I think one of you guys had the Christmas in July
Oh.
screen up earlier. So
Steven, there you go.
we have a big, it's normally a $50 price point. It's now $24 for the next week or so. So we're running some cool Christmas in July stuff. And then keep an eye out for the gear, right? It's coming soon. We're working on it right now behind the scenes. We're super excited about it. We never really put some thought into it before. It was something that was just kind of there. And now we're gonna bring that cult following, some really cool, some gear that they're gonna love.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, if you need some hats that aren't from SNS, I might be able to help you out with some of that.
You might have some purple masks.
We're definitely
too.
looking at some custom headwear. So if you want to send some my way, let me know.
Sweet, will do. Well, guys, again, just want to thank Next Level Apparel for being our sponsor today. Listen, for them, it wasn't about reinventing the wheel. It was about revolutionizing it. So again, in 2020, Next Level Apparel transformed the industry's tubular tee by combining art and science to create the 1800 unisex ideal heavyweight tee. The vision was to create a tubular tee that offers an elevated fit, made a soft fabric and everyday function inspired by streetwear, skatewear, surfwear, workwear, and every other wear out there. Every cut, every thread, and every person has come together to make this durable heavyweight cotton tee the new benchmark in streetwear fit and workwear function. You don't want to miss out on the tee. Visit nextlevelapparel.com. Check that out. And check out Insomnia cookies, for the love of God. They're delicious. And, Tim, thanks again for being on the podcast. And I think that does it for us. Bye-bye.
All right.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Awesome.